years ago we had a plane crash on the Hudson, and we said the miracle on the Hudson. Today was the miracle of the combination of all of our entities providing the rescue of those who were in the water. It's unfortunate that miracle has been shattered with the loss of 2 lives. But we should be clear that between New York Waterway, Harbor, FDNY, and those who participated, we clearly saved lives of those who were part of this terrible incident that took place. But it's a clear reminder to us as we move through the summer months. The water is an enjoyable part of New York, but it can be a dangerous place. For those who jet ski, those who are using boats and other activities, we want to remind people to be safe as they do so. As this investigation moves forward, we will continue to update you. But at this time, our hearts go out to a group of people who were just using the water in our cities. As you heard the awful roar from one of the individuals that appeared to have been on the boat. This is a devastating moment for them and those who are part of the families that were there. And as New Yorkers, our heart go out. But I just want to commend the men and women who participated in this rescue. It's a very difficult activity to do so. Just the heads up and responded in the manner that they did, and I thank you for the coordination and the collaboration of all of our agencies involved. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm joined by FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh, NYPD Assistant Chief James McCarthy, Commanding Officer of Manhattan South, FDNY Chief of Fire Operations John Esposito, Commissioner of New York City Emergency Management Zach Iskol, Inspector Anthony Russo, Commanding Officer of NYPD Harbor. At about 2:46 p.m., a 911 call was received for an overturned vessel by the Battery in Lower Manhattan. The NYPD and the fire department immediately deployed resources to the area. The NYPD Harbor Patrol arrived at Pier 86 at West 46th Street, where they observed a capsized vessel. 2 victims were rescued by Harbor. They were drifting near the boat. The NYPD Scuba immediately deployed divers into the water. A female was brought to the surface and aboard the Harbor boat. She was unresponsive. Without delay, FDNY Marine divers also entered the water and pulled out a second aided, a male, 7 years old, who was also unresponsive. Unfortunately, at this time, both of those individuals have been pronounced deceased. This is a tragic day for New Yorkers. Indeed, it may have well been worse were it not for the incredible effort by not only our own extraordinary first responders, but also the swift response from the New York Waterway ferries, who rescued 9 additional people from the water. At this time, I will pass it to Commissioner Kavanaugh for additional information.
Our normal route, we left Port Imperial Weehawken, going over to Midtown. When we saw a jet skier coming around, and then we got closer, we saw a couple people underwater, and they just kept popping out with a capsized boat. We went to work and we got them out.
The jet skier had what to do? He was just alerting you that the boat had capsized?
Well, we saw him running around trying to get it, and then when we got closer, we asked them to behind. They were waving like, "Come on!"
So the jet skier wasn't with them. He was just happened to see.
I don't know. I don't know if they were all together or separate.
And what kind of boat was it?
It looked like a 15, 16-foot boat, maybe a 20-footer. I can't really. Just from all I saw, it was capsized, so I don't exactly know how big it was. Just from.
So people who were on the boat, were they wearing life vests?
No. One was, we threw a bunch we threw a bunch out, get them on, and.
So what comes to your mind? You're you go back and forth on the Hudson every day. You know the history, obviously, on the Hudson. What comes to your mind? What do you do?
That's when training kicks in. You just, you do what you're trained to do. We do monthly drills for this specific situation. Just in case somebody falls in the water and we have to get them out. That's exactly what we did. We just saw them, they needed help, we got them on board.
What specifically did you do in order to get back to work? life vests,
We
right?
threw them life jackets.
And then what?
We dropped our Jason's cradle. We got real close. They climbed up.
What was their demeanor?
Frantic. They were obviously worried about the other people. We were trying to get as many on as we could.
So there were a couple people who were.
From what they told us, they kept saying there was a child underneath the boat, and I'm like, we got you off. NYPD is on scene. FDNY is on scene. They're telling us, okay, we got to back off and let them do it. So that's exactly what we did. We got out their way.
And did you see what they did? Did you see those people that
No.
they got out?
No,
Did you have passengers on board at the time?
I did.
So what were you telling the passengers? What role did they play in all this?
A couple passengers to help my crew, holding them, picking up the lines. People were fantastic. They followed orders, and thankfully, it was successful. And we got the people out.
So the boat was upside down when you saw it?
Yes, it was capsized.
Any damage to it or just upside down?
It was just upside down. We didn't see if anything was down. So
How was the water? Your experience was it choppy, choppier than usual?
a little bit with the wind. But for us, since we're a bigger vessel, we really don't feel it. But for a smaller vessel, I assume it'd be a real choppy for vessel.
In general, the Hudson especially currents are
With the currents really,
notoriously rough.
they can be, yes, they can be.
Did you ever